Test. This time, here we're going to take a motion to exit executive session. No action taken executive session.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we exit executive session with no more actions taken.
Chair, sir. Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Reverend Jackson to exit executive session. All in favor, show by raising of the right hand. That will be 7 on Ms. Brown. I'd just like to welcome. Yes, ma'am. Okay, we got it. Yes, ma'am. Just like to test it. Say it. Okay. Just like to welcome everyone to our June 8th board meeting. One side there and virtual looking upon us. We thank you for your support and keep on supporting Fairfield County schools. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. At this time, we have our place power and among the sound of our Secretary of the City.
Let us stand for the pledge of allegiance in a moment of silence. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Thank you. This time, we would have approval of the agenda as is.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented.
I say. Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Mr. Davis to approve the agenda as is. All in favor, show by raising of the right hand. That would be 7 on Ms. Brown. Thank you. This time, we would have our May board minutes. Do we have a motion to accept it?
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the board minutes from May 11th, regular call board meeting.
Thank you.
I second such motion.
Dr. Harris. Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Dr. Harris. All in favor of accepting the minutes from our May 11th board meeting, show by raising of the hand. That would be 7-0. Thank you. Update from our superintendent, Dr. J.R. Green.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. First of all, one of the most exciting times of the year, graduation season. And so that's what we all work for, to see our young people matriculate across the stage. And as much as we are sad to see them go and leave us, we recognize that that is our ultimate goal, to prepare them to move on to the next phase of their journey. So graduation at Fairfield High School will be this coming Saturday, June 12th at 8:30 a.m. I will be praying every day that Mother Nature leaves the rain away from us, just long as we get through these graduation exercises, Pastor Jackson. And so it's been raining about every day this week, but I hope it takes a break on Saturday. Look forward to seeing everyone. I think Mr. Miller has already communicated some information relative to the uniformity that I think will occur with the Board of Trustees, and we're looking forward to seeing you all at the graduation exercise. There's a reopening survey that is currently on the district website. getting some feedback from students and parents and community members about what schools will look like on next year. At my most recent town hall, I had an opportunity to elaborate on that a little bit and some common questions that we're asking about social distancing and will masks be a requirement and will it look like it did this year? And though I can't say for sure, if I had to bet any money on it, I would say it's going to look a lot different than it did this year. If I had to make a prediction right now, my guess is that masks will be optional. And I say that based on the fact that the governor has already issued an executive order that allows parents to opt out of the mask requirement. The CDC has already modified their guidance that says that individuals who are fully vaccinated don't have to wear a mask inside or outside. And so looking at that particular trend and looking at where we're going relative to COVID-19, I think we're probably headed in a direction where masks will be optional. Now it's interesting, Dr. Avery shared with me that she's already looking at some of the comments from our reopening survey, and a lot of our parents are not necessarily all that excited about doing with masks. Okay, a lot of our parents feel a certain level of conflict in having masks continue to be required because we recognize that the pandemic has not ended. And so we will continue to monitor that. Surely there will be people on both sides of that debate who advocate for and against the continued use of mask wearing. But my prediction is that we'll probably be in a place by August where masks will probably most likely be optional. You know, folks, this has been a very challenging year for our young people. Just the social emotional dilemma and challenges of dealing with COVID-19, our young people have experienced as much trauma over this last 18 months or so as many of them have experienced in any other stretch of their lives. And so as a function of that, to address some of the academic loss that has occurred, we have over 20 summer academic enrichment programs throughout the district. And so virtually at every level, we have programs to accommodate students who may have experienced some struggles due to COVID-19 and not reporting consistently for in-person instruction. If you remember, the principals and teachers identified students during the course of the year that we invited to report for in-person instruction because they were having some academic struggle. Many of those students took us up on that offer, but then we had others who were still concerned about the COVID-19 virus and elected to leave their young people at home and leverage the instruction virtually. Some of those students didn't do as well as obviously we would have hoped, and will be required to report to some of these summer programs as a condition of promotion. And so we'll have a very robust summer experience throughout the district for students who need to go and for students who just want to go. And so we're looking forward to all of the opportunities. And then finally, you probably have heard a lot about the Essa funding, elementary, secondary schools, emergency relief funds. Our district will receive approximately $10 million. And that is to be used for anything associated with COVID-19. That is to address social, emotional well-being, that's to address learning loss, that's to address air quality, just like anything that you can associate with COVID-19, whether it existed during COVID-19, prior to COVID-19, or after COVID-19. You potentially could use those funds for. The only other requirement is at least 20% of those funds have to be used for learning loss in particular. And so we'll have a survey that will be posted on the district website on June 15th to give the community an opportunity to weigh in and give us some input relative to how we should expend those funds. Obviously, Ms. Green has already made mention that she wants the board to be updated on what our ultimate plan will look like. If you have any individual ideas, don't hesitate to forward that to myself or Dr. Avery. We'll be looking for all stakeholders to provide some input. Any questions about the things that I shared thus far?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Dr. Green, Do you have a number, a head count on how many kids is actually gonna be virtual this year?
Yeah, and the number has changed a bit, Ms. Harris. I think at the last count out age was about 170, we're not.
Hold on, I'll check.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so why should you get that number is, Ms. Harrison, the number was somewhere in the ballpark of 170. I'll tell you what has happened, Ms. Harrison, as people are getting more and more comfortable with how the COVID-19 virus is beginning to decline, we're having them to back out and say, you know what, I was a little nervous, I thought I wanted to do virtual, but now I want my child to come face to face. I was just at the Maggie School Monday, and Dr. Whitfield told me she had about 4 or 5 parents who initially indicated they were going to go virtual. Now said, I changed my mind. I want my son or daughter to report in person instruction.
About 185.
Okay.
And majority of it are elementary kids, probably?
I would probably say it's a pretty good mix of parents. I think there are about 70 or so high school students, because I just talked to Dr. Schuler about it recently. So I think it's a fairly good mix. And quite honestly, it was probably a little more high school students than I would have predicted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we'll open up another window somewhere in July to give parents an opportunity to either submit an application to participate in Virtual Academy. And then we'll likely have some who want to withdraw their request to participate in Virtual Academy. But I can assure you that we will have a collection of students who will continue to remain virtual, and their primary concern wasn't necessarily COVID-19. It was that they have just enjoyed this virtual environment and have thrived in this virtual environment. So, you know, some parents who have selected the Virtual Academy because of concerns with COVID-19, and others who selected it just because they're some adults, it just enjoyed the flexibility that the virtual environment provides.
As far as the summer programs, teacher wise, are they did they have to like volunteer, they ask, or how did you select the teachers?
Yeah, that's a good question, sir. So teachers had to apply to teach in the summer program. I'm not sure where we stand there. I know we submitted, we just rolled out a reminder that we were still looking for some additional staff members. We are mandated, can be mandated that it will teach summer school.
Yeah.
But we are hopeful that they will be willing to assist us. I think we were in pretty good shape relative to staffing. For the most part, we didn't roll out in the summer programs unless we were sure we had staffing to accommodate it. We're still recruiting a few more individuals for the virtual academy, but I think in terms of the summer program, we're in pretty good shape there.
So I take it it's gonna be some kind of incentive, are they gonna get more paid to do summer school?
Yes, and so historically, Ms. Harrison, our pay for summer school teachers has been $30 an hour, I think it is. This year, we're gonna raise it to $40 an hour. And there'll be some costs. Yeah. And there'll be some corresponding increases as well, Ms. Harrison, for classified staff as well. Because we know we'll need a lot more people to work this summer because we have a lot more students who will be participating, and we want to ensure that we are providing the proper incentive to get individuals to report and participate in the program. So that is a very good question. We are offering some additional money to work this summer.
So it's gonna be half of that. I know summer school used to be like half a day, so is that how it's gonna be this summer?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit more. What's the time? I think it kind of varies from program to program, but
It does vary program to program, and including your side pocket, Ms. Harrison, I put
Okay.
an outline of all of the dates and times for each of the 20+ programs.
Okay,
But elementary will begin at 8 and end, and I think it's approximately 1 o'clock.
okay,
You're certainly correct, but all of the programs are listed in your side pocket for the beginning, which starts coming Monday, all the way until August.
okay. Thank you. Dr. Green, excuse me, don't forget they got, Wednesday, they got the awards, scholarship, class night.
yeah. That's very good point. I'm glad you reminded me of that. Yeah, so class night will be 6:30, Ms. Harrison, am I right on that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, class night will be 6:30, tomorrow at Fairfield Central High School. It will be a virtual program, so They have a few people that present scholarships and, but the public is encouraged to participate virtually, through a Zoom link, I think.
Pastor?
Since we're gonna have,
Okay.
Oh, okay. Since we're gonna have, a greater staff because of greater need, in the summer program, the funding for that partially is gonna come from Essa. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so those are perfect examples of what they encourage you to use that Essa money for, as I alluded to earlier. At least 20% of it has to go to learning loss. And so this would be a prime example of how we can address that.
Right. Just for, are we notifying parents and letting them know that, how urgent this is to get into the summer program and not miss this opportunity? I guess that's what.
Yeah, and so Mr. Miller, you know, we are encouraging parents and students to take advantage. I had conversations with some parents even directly, and some students who absolutely need to participate in summer school because of some of the gaps in learning that were identified this year. There is no cost associated with any programs. And so one of the questions that a mom asked me was that she couldn't afford to send her son to summer school, and I said, "There is absolutely no problem." So I'm telling you, I can't go because my mom can't afford it. There's no cost. All of these summer programs are free of charge.
Busing?
Busing included. So absolutely no reason not to participate other than you want to just relax and enjoy your summer. Okay, and so for any young person who gives you a reason why they can't participate, we have that reason covered.
One more thing that it just slipped my mind, I wanted to ask you, but I don't think.
Okay, when you think about it, we'll come back to it. We'll go into the COVID update, and this will be relatively brief as Ms. Brown pulls that off. We continue to be headed in the right direction relative to COVID-19. I mentioned, I think the last time we spoke, that we were encouraging our students to participate in the vaccination effort. In fact, we are sponsoring a vaccination clinic at Fairfield Central High School later this month, particularly for our athletes, because we know that they come in relatively close contact with one another, football players and cheerleaders and volleyball players and band members. And so we are encouraging those individuals who, for the most part, are going to be 12 years old or older to participate in the vaccination effort. And I'm also encouraging people who may not be athletes to come on up to the school and get vaccinated as well. The more people we can get vaccinated, the more we continue to see these declines in the number of COVID cases within our schools. Going to the next slide, Ms. Brown, cases for the week of May 28th through 24th through the 28th, student cases. As you see, we have 0 student cases for the week of May 24th through the 28th. And that's exactly what we are looking for, 0 cases. And as long as I said, we can continue to see less instances of COVID-19 in our community, we see more individuals who are getting vaccinated, we will see these numbers continue to decline. Now, you know, one thing that I want us to really think about, and I want us to really promote in our respective circles, is when you look at communities that are trailing relative to vaccination, to a large extent, it is rural communities, it is high minority communities, and to a large extent, rural and high minority communities are not being vaccinated at the same level as maybe some others. And so, for those of you who have those conversations in your churches, and your barbershops, and your neighborhood, let's continue to encourage our neighbors to get vaccinated. I'll tell you, that's what I do at church, Pastor Jack, and I said it many times. My pastor said it many times, and we are encouraging people, you need to get vaccinated. You need to get vaccinated, and just ignore and it'll give you a sense of security, and quite honestly, make everybody a little safer. Okay, and so, sometimes there's a little apprehension with encouraging people to do it. And say, oh, well, that's folks' individual rights and this decision, and obviously we can't make anyone do anything. But I think it is our responsibility to encourage people to do what we think is, we know is responsible. Okay, so continue to promote that if you will. Next slide, looking at faculty cases, we continue to be on the decline. We do May 24 through 28, 0 faculty cases. So that's exactly the kind of numbers that we're looking for. Last I checked, we were probably somewhere around 65 or 68% of our staff had received at least one shot. And I'm not surveying the staff, we love to get to 100%. So the same way we're encouraging students to get vaccinated, we're surely encouraging our staff to get vaccinated. And right now, the vaccine has been approved for students age 12 and older. I predict by the time we get to August, that they'll probably approve a vaccination for students probably between 5 and 12. It's just my prediction. Okay. Right now, there is no vaccination approved for students under 12, but I think by the time we get to August, there'll be a vaccination approved. And that's about it. Any questions?
Well, I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but the mask wearing actually cut down on people getting the flu. You didn't hear a lot about the flu, but we shouldn't have to encourage people to keep washing their hands, but that's something we got to keep telling people too. That's a must, but I mean, I don't have a problem wearing masks. I'm gonna wear mine probably. But it did cut down on the flu. I mean, I never had the flu or pneumonia, none of that, but I noticed that it wasn't a lot of talk about the flu. So it helped with something. It might not stop people from actually, not getting the COVID, but it did help something.
So Ms. Harrison, you made an excellent point. We had much fewer instances of strep throat, I think, flu, common colds, ear infections, and I mean, all the things that we generally see in schools on a consistent basis. I think all the additional sanitation efforts, the mask wearing, all of those things contributed to why we've seen less sickness. And I may have mentioned this at the last school board meeting, but I serve on the South Carolina Hospital Association board now. And I didn't realize that some hospitals have been requiring their staff to wear masks during flu season. Yeah, I mean, so hospitals have recognized the value of wearing face coverings during flu season, even before COVID-19, and it required their hospital employees to wear masks during flu season. And there was one hospital in particular that indicated that they required people to get the shot, and if you didn't get a flu shot, you ain't wear your mask. You ain't wear a mask. And so for those who got a flu shot, they did have to wear a mask. Those who didn't get the flu shot, they could not wear it. And so, obviously, if our hospitals who are ahead of the curve here, they recognize the value of vaccines and the value of wearing face coverings.
Did you mention the day and time that they're going to be offering shots and the requirements for the children to receive the shot?
Yes, and the screen, I wish I would have written it down. I think it is the 16th of June, but I can send that out again. And there is no requirement. So they initially scheduled this vaccination clinic to accommodate the athletes at Fairfield Middle School and Fairfield Central High School. But we are encouraging any student or parent or anyone who wants to participate.
Okay.
I'll send that information out. Dr. Swiller, give that date to me. I didn't write it down, but I think it's the 16th. I think the 16th of June, 15th of June. Does that date ring a bell to you, Ms. Allen? Okay, yeah, but I think it's the 15th or 16th, but we'll circle back around. And we're encouraging everyone to participate. We just need to notify them in advance so they can have enough vaccines on hand. So that's the one thing they've asked us to let us know whether we plan to have 100 people there, 200 people there, 50 people there, so we'll know how many vaccines to bring.
And those vaccines are gonna be given where?
They'll be doing it up at the field house, and I didn't even do physical, it's at the high school, they're doing, physicals at one location, and then I think they're doing the vaccinations at another location. And so I think this is the same day they're doing physicals for athletes, but they'll be doing physical and vaccination. I think one of them may be in the auditorium, Pastor Jackson, I'm not sure, but it's at the high school, not also where the location is, but it's at the high school. Okay.
Any more questions? Dr. Green?
Dr. Green.
Mhm.
I don't know, most of the young people know, or either coaches know, but I guess if some of the kids take the vaccination, they probably need to rest like that day or the next day, because it don't affect everybody the same.
Yeah.
Some people be extremely tired and, get sick from it, so that might be one of the things they might wanna mention, that they might not wanna practice the next day if they take it.
Yeah, and let me follow up on that, Ms. Harrison. I know it's planned during the physical day, but I need to see whether they have a practice plan for that day. Yeah, that's good point.
I can't see. Both times. Both times.
No,
Thank you, Dr. Green. Okay.
Could you briefly inform the board on the conversation that you had with the journalists?
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me of
That's all
that.
that.
Yeah, so I had an opportunity to go to the high school, I guess it was yesterday. And believers and achievers have been awarding the outstanding journalists at Fairfield Central High School with a gift card and a plaque for the past 2 semesters. And so they made an award to 4 student journalists from Fairfield Central High School who were outstanding journalists for the spring semester. Mr. Davis, who is one of the founding members of the Leaders of Achievers, and the Vice President, Ms. Cookie Kennedy, were on hand to make that award. And we had an opportunity to give the students a chance to really kind of elaborate and talk about the experience. And one thing that I found extremely enlightening when they were talking about being journalism students and how they had enjoyed that experience, how some of the attacks, for lack of a better word, on the newspaper resonated with them. And sometimes we think that young people aren't necessarily cognizant of those things, but they made it very apparent that they were cognizant. And their response was not to be upset, but to be more committed to putting out a extremely good product. And so the young people have used some of the criticism as fuel to create an even better product. And that was anything that we solicited just when they were making their remarks about their journalism experience. Some of them just said that. And that was so refreshing, how you turn something that someone may mean as negative, you turn it into a positive and use it as a way to encourage and motivate yourself. And so that's what those young ladies did. And I say young ladies because I'm not sure whether it was planned that way, but all the outstanding journalists for the second semester were young ladies. Any young men who were awarded. So we'll work on that by next one today to see if we can get some young men in that mix. Yeah. But all of those young ladies were just absolutely phenomenal. And such a diverse background. Yeah, so there was only one senior in the group, and she's planning to go to London University to major in nursing. You had a couple of juniors. One was a basketball player, one was a volleyball player, one was, it's just a diverse group of students. And with that diversity comes lots of diverse perspectives in terms of what they write, how they see things. just encouraging them to have and exert their student voice. And so it was very impressive to just listen to those young people talk. Speaking of student voice, Ms. Green, I know attended an activity today that was put on by some students from Fairfield Central High School that was all around student voice and improving and impacting your community. And that was an absolutely phenomenal event as well today. I had an opportunity to participate in that. Our young people are finding their voices and they are exerting their voices. And that is something that we should be so proud of. You know, very often we think our only requirement is to teach our young people to read, write, and arithmetic, as they say back in the day. But it is more than that. All right, this is a training ground for the skills that they'll utilize for the rest of their lives, and for them to be able to get up in front of adults and really articulate things and really to develop plans and really talk about what they see right and wrong in our community and what they think needs to happen in the future was inspiring. You know, I said to them, tell me how you continue to inspire the adults to improve our community with the same kind of passion and commitment that you have as children. And it is truly inspiring. So, you know, we have a lot to be proud of here at
I was gonna wait. Go ahead, Ms. Essa.
Oh, I was gonna tell Dr. Green, I actually went over there a couple of weeks ago and spoke to the students, after they were being attacked. And they were very appreciative that I came over there and encouraged. I got to talk to the kids on virtual and the ones that was in class. And they really thanked me for coming over there and encouraging them. And I just wanted them to know we were so very proud of them and they're doing an outstanding job. And sometimes we get attacked and we don't know why we're getting attacked, but you know, you have to, you know, take it as it is and you can grow from it or you can let it break you. And obviously they're growing from it and they're learning. So I know they're gonna do well when they go off to college because they are doing an outstanding job. So I just wanted to encourage them because most of them I know. And I said, y'all not doing anything wrong. You know, you actually helping our community get the news out, the good news, positive news.
Well said, well said, well said. I just want, since we on this, Doc, can you tell us what time y'all graduation question came up? So what time should the board be there?
Yeah, so the graduation is 8:30. I think it'd be safe if we get there by 8 o'clock. Yeah, I don't, you know, they'll probably plenty of time to get lined up. I'm sure our school is gonna have the students there probably by 7 o'clock. I think this will be tell them 7, they may show up by 8:15. But I know if I tell y'all 8, y'all show up at 8. So I'm not gonna tell y'all be at 7, so you come in. All right, and so and yeah, get there 8, we need plenty of time to get lined up.
Mr. Miller will be there 8:15.
The other things end of the year recognition and awards, do we plan to, maybe some of the board, is this virtual or is this gonna be these awards?
With awards.
Awards at the different schools, though.
A lot of them drive by, Mr. Miller.
Recognition and awards for our different schools. Fairfield Elementary.
They're already had it.
Magnet School, yeah, they had theirs on the 4th. And they're gonna have another one on the 9th, which is tomorrow.
Yes.
And then I'm just wanting to know if any board members maybe be off, they could.
I think most of them drive by, but they do drive by.
I wasn't.
I don't even think the parents getting out the car. I think they just driving up and picking up whatever.
Yeah, and I think they kind of vary from school to school. How's the elementary set up?
Magnet school, they gonna do a virtual.
The virtual. Okay.
What about elementary school?
They just drive by the other.
Okay.
I think it was.
But continue to, let's make sure that we show our support for our elementary schools and our middle schools. You know, they got, but at middle school, they call it what? The step up, or what do they call it? When they're getting ready to go to high school. Move up? Okay, and so let's make sure that we show them that, we're, we support them graduating, whether it's from the, elementary school to the middle school to the high school. It's just showing that we're backing them. Thank you. You got anything else, Dr. Green?
Yeah, so the Twitter did text me and told me that the date is June 16. Yeah, so June 16th, and we're encouraging all athletes and any other students who would like to participate.
Just show up.
Well, no, you need to let us know you will show.
Okay.
So we make sure we have enough vaccines on hand.
How will they let you know that?
So it'll be the call Dr. Swiller, or there'll be, so just like athlete, they will let their coach know, who will let the AD or Dr. Swiller know. It's not athlete, you just call the school and let Dr. Swiller know.
Awesome. Anything else, Dr. Green?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right, this time we're gonna go to operation and finance. Mr. Ross.
Need another mic here.
You man, you get mine.
That chair right there, oh, yeah, though.
Yeah, that's the way you do it. Women always show us up.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
The first item in operations and finance is the finance report for the month of May. The most significant things in there, as I've said before, the revenue is still, if you look at the first schedule of the financial statement, it just shows on that first line under taxes. Right now, we're currently about $3.8 million below budget. We still have a couple of months left, so that'll improve slightly. Everything else seems to be as scheduled, so that's where we are for now, and probably looking at a projection of about $2 million taken out of the fund balance, and we projected or budgeted for this year $1 million. So we're hoping that'll improve, but that's the finance report. So any questions or comments on that? And if not, then we'll move on to the third reading of the budget. And this evening, the recommendation is that the superintendent's recommending board approval of third reading of the fiscal year 2021-22 budget in the amount of $43,393,496, and approval of the attached budget resolution to be sent to the county, which authorizes operational millage of 203.1 mils. And I'll just briefly, not much, well, nothing's really changed since the first or second reading. Just a reminder that this budget is $1.9 million lower than our current budget. The reason for that is that we have less property tax revenue. We're projecting about $3.8 million less in property tax revenue due to the decrease in the property tax base that's occurred over the past couple of years. And so we will address that lower revenue by lowering our cost for salaries and benefits. And we're doing that because we're taking some of the vacancies that we normally would have in the budget. We're not planning on filling those vacancies. And we're also trying to use more of our federal funds to make up for, to move some of the salaries and benefits out of the general fund into the available federal funds that we have. So that will help to offset a part of that 3.8 million. The remaining portion of that offset, we will be proposing to use an additional $1.6 million out of the fund balance. Currently, we're taking $1 million out this year. So next year, we're proposing to take $2.6 million out. That will allow us to balance our budget for the upcoming year. And as I said before, really nothing else has changed. There will be no increase in the operational mills. It will remain at 203.1 mills. We still have the same proposed step increases for the employees, and also the bonuses, that is still a part of our budget for next year. So we're requesting the third reading approval of our fiscal year 21-22 budget.
We get a motion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the third reading of the fiscal year 21-22 budget in the amount of $4,393,496, and approval of the attached budget resolution to authorize operational millage of 203.1 mils.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Mr. Chair, I'm sorry. Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Reverend Jackson. For current year, year 21-22, $43,993,496. No millage increase of 2.3.1. All in favor? Somebody raise them on the right hand.
Question?
No question?
Dr. Green, wait, Mr. Chair. Dr. Green, is that, I see the tax revenue is not, I guess, is going down. So in the next several years, that's something we really need to be concerned about, changing some stuff.
Yeah, so that's a very good question. And so obviously we have received less tax revenue, and specifically because of the changes that have occurred at BC Summer facility. We are hoping that begins to stabilize by next year. Obviously, it has been reducing for the last couple of years. We'll know a little better next year where we are. We're hoping to begin to stabilize. But we're already positioning ourselves for less revenue. And so that's why we have made some modifications and restructured a bit and didn't fill some positions, because we were trying to create an even more efficient operation in anticipation of receiving less revenue. And so we should know by next year whether this decline in revenue will continue or whether we begin to develop.
Any more questions? All in favor? 21-22 budget of $43,393,496. Somebody raising the right hand. Yeah, 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Right. Next, we'll have our human resource. So.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. For HR item 1, the superintendent recommends the board approve certified resignations and terminations for current staff members who will not return after the conclusion of the 2021 academic year. This is presented to you in exhibits 1A and 1B.
You doing together?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve certified resignation termination for current staff members who will not return after the conclusion of the academic year, exhibit 1A, exhibit 1B.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Can we have a second?
Second such motion.
Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Dr. Harris. All in favor, by the raising of the right hand. That will give us round 7.
For item 2, the superintendent recommends the board approve certified professional educators for academic year 2021-22. This is presented to you in exhibits 2A and 2B.
Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve certified professional educators for academic year 2021-22, exhibit 2A, 2B.
Can we get a second?
I second.
Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Mr. Davis. All in favor? 1A and 1B. Raise your right hand. We have 7 of them, right?
And lastly, HR exhibit 3, or item 3, excuse me, the superintendent recommends the board approve certified administrators for academic year 2021-22. And this is presented to you in exhibit 3.
We have a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve certified administrators for academic year 2021-22, exhibit 3.
Mr. Chair, I second.
Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Reverend Jackson. All in favor, for the raising of the right hand? That's 7. Ms. Brown. Thank you, Ms. Soul. This next, we need to fail the board chair report. Mr. Martin talked earlier, I think we talked about graduation, all that is coming up. You know, we thank Mrs. Harris and Mr. Davis for y'all going around there, you know, and speaking with our journalists team as well as the awards, you know, gave to them. I think that was very noble of both of you. Also, just wanted to look at our board meeting schedule. The one with time through that. So we will know what we have for the year 21-22. That's going to be our. You know, we may have to change some things, but that is, you know, we might try our board schedule for our board meetings. As you can see, everything is pretty much at the district office. You know, and when the time is right, we will go back out to some of our rural schools. But time is just not right now. So, anybody has anything else? Huh? What's that?
We need to vote on the board meeting schedule.
Oh, absolutely, thank you. Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I say we approve the board meeting schedule for the academic year 2021-22.
Can I get a second?
I
Yes,
second.
sir. We're gonna get up to Reverend Jackson. Do we have any questions on this? Any questions?
Chairman Miller, I have a question, but before we adjourn, I would just like to inform the board that this coming Friday, Believers in Achievement will be feeding graduating class, and y'all welcome to come out. Probably around about 11 o'clock.
What is it?
It's gonna be down by the football
Is
field.
it a cookout or what is it?
Maybe like a cookout.
Okay.
And just to let you know, wonderful superintendent, you don't agree.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I'll be working, but I'll be thinking about you. All in favor?
You did number 3?
That's on the list. I haven't voted on.
No, we haven't voted on
Ms. Calvin.
we hadn't voted yet on the,
That's what I was.
yeah, they got number 3.
All in favor, our schedule for the 21-22 year, what we scheduled, somebody raise the right hand. We have a 7-0. Thank you. Okay. I'm saying, you got something else, Captain?
Yeah, that's number 3.
Yeah. Okay. Number 3, open meetings up for the, okay. Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we open the board meetings up to the public set forth by the board. And I don't know what they y'all have on that.
For the July meeting,
For the July, okay, start in July.
can we get a second? Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Ms. Green, open our meeting, our July meeting up to the floor, to the public, excuse me, y'all. Got tapped up for the meeting of July. What day would that be, Ms. Brown?
20.
July 20th. Do we have any questions on that? Questions? All in favor?
Yeah, Mr. Miller, and I would probably assume that the board wants to maintain the same kind of protocols we have in place right now, which is the public would have to wear face covering. You would probably limit it to a certain number, you know, historically don't have many, but there will be a capacity where we can still maintain social distancing. We just outlined there will be some protocol, and not that people would come in as they were pre-COVID. So, just want to make that come up.
Everybody agree with that?
Sure.
We want to be safe.
For sure.
We want to be safe. We don't want the public to get, we want to be safe. Okay. So, all in favor of that, would that be added to that motion, or that would be just?
It would need to be stipulated, especially for our media that may be watching.
Okay.
So if y'all want to stipulate the protocol such as requiring a face mask, setting the number of people, and then also it will start with the July 2040. So
Ms. Harris, would you?
Mr. Chair, I just need to amend the motion. I need to amend the motion to open up the meeting to start July the 20th to the public wearing face covering, a limited amount of capacity so we can all stay safe. Okay, that's it.
Can we get a second?
I agree with that.
Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Ms. Green. All the stipulations that put in there. All in favor, show by raising the right hand. We have 7. Oh. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second. Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Reverend Jackson. To adjourn, all in favor, show by raising the right hand. 7-0. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
So you only gonna be up there doing practice? You're gonna be out there doing the seniors.
Yeah.
They'll do it now.
I'm gonna try to, well, I'm gonna be here for practice.
Yeah.